Well, hello there. My name is Nicola Connolly Byrne. I am the personal empowerment specialist, and you are very welcome to my podcast, Soulchats. We normally speak here about people's personal and spiritual development and how they have empowered themselves to do that. But this time, we are shifting gears and we're going to speak about health empowerment and all things perimenopause, menopause, and HRT. I have some amazing guests lined up for you who are going to share their stories about their personal journey and knowledge around HRT or the lack of it. Please bear in mind, we are not medical professionals, so we are not offering medical advice. We just believe in the power of shared learning, so please do speak to a doctor if you feel like you need to. So let's jump right into new territory. Let's get going and buckle your seatbelts. Well, good morning, Cheryl Lawton.
Hello, how are you?
It's great to see you.
Great to see you too. Long time.
Yeah, you look fantastic.
Thank you.
You're so good to give me your time, Cheryl.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm just, as usual, I'm always in the sort of middle of doing things and rushing around. But yeah,
you're a busy lady. You're a busy
yeah.
lady. So let me tell the listeners who you are and what you mean to me.
Okay.
So this is the gorgeous, biggest hearted Cheryl Lawton. She's based in the UK. Cheryl is a client of mine for a good few years now, and she has actually flown twice to Ireland to attend our workshops. And that makes me feel very humble and very honoured, I have to tell you, Cheryl. But to just expand on what Cheryl is all about, I know that Cheryl loves to travel. She is an actual biker, like she's a biker, giving it loads on her motorbike. She is a very, very spiritual lady and takes a very holistic approach to all elements of her life. Our Cheryl, not that she looks it, is nearly 60 years old, and she has been nursing in the NHS and the healthcare industry for 40 years.
Yeah.
That is a lifetime, Cheryl.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
It's a life. Is that an adequate description of you?
Yes, it is. Yes, thank you.
I captured everything, I think.
All the good bits.
all the good bits. We need to do the stuff out, Cheryl. We need to do the stuff out. Only joking, nothing wrong with her. So, Cheryl, I suppose the main reason why it was very important for me to invite you onto this podcast was twofold. Number one, I was shocked to my core when you told me that you felt like you were too old for HRT.
Yeah.
Right? That's the first thing. And the second thing is not only did you think you were too old, but you work for the NHS.
Yeah.
You are a medical professional. And as far as I'm aware, and correct me if I'm wrong, nobody has ever approached you to have a HRT conversation?
No, not really.
Or
usually me talking to other women about the menopause, really.
Okay.
In conversation and as I come across them in my practice.
Yes.
So, but nobody actually has really been bothered about my menopause journey.
Okay. So you were speaking to women in a professional capacity. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, but not as it's not my main.
Not as a specialist.
Yeah, I'm not a specialist in it. I'm just a sort of person with a bit of background knowledge, really.
Okay. So let's not put just in the same sentence as your name, because I love you so much. I always say to my clients, do not put just in the same sentence as your name, because it belittles who you are. And Cheryl is so much bigger than what she just said. So what capacity were your clients coming to you for?
Well, we just have general conversations. In the last few years, I've been operating my own ear clinic. And it is surprising how...
An ear clinic?
An ear, yeah.
Okay.
So in that clinic, I do wax removal, hearing tests, tinnitus management. And one of the key things really that the menopause crops up with is when people have got tinnitus.
Yes.
And surprisingly, the menopause can affect your ability to hear correctly,
Yeah.
and can actually encourage tinnitus to occur.
Yes.
So, I often start the conversation if that lady is suffering with tinnitus.
Right.
Because, everything dries up.
Yes.
We're often deficient in nutrients which feed our sort of sensory systems, and it can all have a knock-on effect.
Yes, yes. So
And
people were coming specifically to you for help with their ears.
yes,
And through your knowledge that you've gained over the years, you put 2 and 2 together and realized that tinnitus can potentially be a symptom of perimenopause or menopause. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. So the knowledge that you have about perimenopause and menopause is just you educating yourself over time, person.
It is. Yeah.
Okay. So this is not a profession for in being in that industry is not a profession for you.
I've not trained in it. I've not done any specific.
You've no training. You've no official training. Okay. So do you feel like you were perimenopausal, are menopausal? Do you feel like it affected you in any way? Like, did you have symptoms?
In hindsight, yes.
That's what I was afraid you were going to say.
When I was 44, that's when I stopped having periods.
Oh, wow. So you were early.
It's a long time ago now for me.
Jesus, Cheryl, yeah.
It's 16 years since I was in the perimenopause. I started perimenopause when I was about 38, 39.
Okay, so you've backtracked this and can see this.
Yeah. And sort of, although I had hormone tests at the time, nothing ever came of that. So they knew I was perimenopausal, and then I just stopped having my periods.
So the medical professionals knew that you were perimenopausal.
I'd had blood tests to confirm that I was in perimenopause. Yeah. So, and nobody then ever,
Cheryl, this is getting worse.
I know. Nobody then ever discussed it. But I think, I am to blame. A lot of the blame is on me, because my periods from being 11 years old, I started my periods when I was 11.
Okay.
And they were horrendous.
Yeah.
I have had an awful sort of fertile period in my life where my periods were nothing but trouble, pain, flooding, premenstrual syndrome, endometriosis. And, I was just pleased that they bloody well stopped.
Yes. And I believe as well, I've read, Cheryl, that the earlier you start your periods, the earlier you start menopause.
Often that's the case. But my mum stopped her periods at 39 too.
Wow.
She was even earlier than me. So,
I don't like you saying that you're partly to blame. I don't like that. Doesn't sit well with me. Why do you say that you're partly to blame?
Because I was so relieved not to be having periods that I didn't even think of what was coming.
Yeah.
And I don't.
But that's not your fault, Cheryl.
Well, it is. It's a bit of ignorance on my part, I suppose, because, maybe I thought I was getting off light because it was such
But you can't be upset with
welcome event.
I know, but you can't be upset with yourself about something that you didn't know.
I wasn't really upset at myself at the time.
No, but now I'm talking about.
But now I sort of think, well, are you a bit stupid? Did you just sort of
Cheryl, stop!
Wave that you were? I don't like you.
No, you can't be upset with yourself for something that you didn't know about.
Yeah.
Like you just can't. You need to put the whip down there now, Cheryl Lawton.
Yeah.
Okay, we're putting that whip down.
Yeah.
Because
I think I was just riding the crest of the wave of feeling free from all that problem that I had with periods, So I was just enjoying the experience of not having them anymore.
I know, I hear you. I am looking forward to that bit, Cheryl. But tell me this, Now, with 2020 vision looking back, okay, what age were you when you started Peri?
About 38, 39.
38, 39. And with all of the knowledge that you have now, looking back, what were your symptoms back then?
Oh, just fluctuations in just how I was feeling, getting hot flushes,
Okay.
not sleeping very well, up and down to the loo in the night, and just very restless really.
Right.
I tend to get hot flushes during the day, but my nights have been disturbed for years.
Okay.
The fan became my best friend. Pardon?
Are you still disturbed with sleep?
To an extent, but not too bad now. I haven't had the fan on for a couple of months now.
Okay.
And I think the link with that was that I've stopped drinking alcohol.
Wow.
Because I was always worse if I'd had a couple of drinks.
Temperature wise?
Yeah, and it sort of enhanced the night sweats, the restlessness at night. So since last April, and it was because I went on some of the medication for my diabetes, it was just easier to stop drinking altogether, not even having a couple of drinks.
Yes.
So that's what I've done. And I found that I've had better night's sleep without having any alcohol, and a lower carb diet.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's improved. So
yeah. I believe I read an article yesterday whereby the whole alcohol thing is a vicious cycle for women because women's sleep is disturbed. Some women are using alcohol as a sedative to get them asleep, thinking it's going to keep them asleep.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, it's having the opposite effect.
And
then you get yourself into a vicious cycle.
Yeah, if you have more than a couple of units, it has an adverse effect on the quality of your sleep.
Yes.
So, it is a vicious circle, really.
Yeah. And I know, Cheryl, that you and I
motion detected at the front door.
Oh, excuse that.
This is life. Recording podcast from home. She has a doorbell that talks to her. Brilliant. I love it. Yesterday I was interviewing somebody, a nutritionist, a nutritional therapist actually, and we were speaking, and Siri thought that she had asked her a question, and then Siri was responding in the middle of the podcast. It's brilliant. So you and I had spoken offline about some challenges that you were having with weight the last number of years. And I know that you had a struggle in trying to get a medical professional to be able to help you with that, because I know that you went to the ends of the earth to try and reverse that, and nothing you did worked. And I know how determined you are and how tenacious you are.
Yeah.
Do you think now, in the research that's been released now, that there may be a connection for you whereby you didn't take HRT and that did have an adverse effect on your weight?
Well, yes. I mean, it's only recently that I've sort of learned a little bit more about the menopause. And one of the things that happens is that it can encourage insulin resistance.
Yes.
And when I eventually got to see a consultant about my diabetes and told them my story, he just said, you have gone into total insulin resistance.
Okay.
So your medication, whatever you're eating, exercising, won't work because your pancreas is now not working. Yes. And because it's insulin resistant totally.
My goodness.
And, it was like a revelation, really. Oh, because my diabetes was under control until I became menopausal, that's when it started to go haywire.
Yeah.
And, for at least the last 5 or 6 years, I've had this struggle.
Yeah.
It's because I'd become insulin resistant.
Wow.
And the consultant said to me, nothing will work. I have to now get your pancreas working properly.
Yeah.
And reverse the resistance and get your pancreas sensitive to insulin again.
Yes.
And that's why I've had to go on injectable medication. That. And it is working. And since April, I have lost 3 stone.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
Cheryl.
And that's with doing nothing different.
Oh my God, all the little hairs on the top of my head have just stood up.
In fact, I would say that since I've been on the medication, I've had more craving for sweet things than I ever did.
Wow.
So, you know, that's a bit of a challenge because I never really sort of craved sweet things before. But it's because I'm kind of kicked into the right metabolism now.
Yeah.
I'm getting all those sensations about when I'm full, when I'm, you know, the enzymes and everything are working. So I'm actually knowing when I've overeaten or you know, not fancying things and
you're getting connected back to your body.
Yeah, it's all happening again now, as it should do, and as it works for other people.
Yeah, Cheryl, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, no, I'm just. It has its downside, you know. There are side effects. There are, you know.
Yeah.
But I would have sold my soul to the devil, to be honest, to be a normal weight again.
I know.
And I'm getting there now, so you know, the devil can bugger off, really.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So in the last number of months when I've been doing my research on all of the different phases of our lives as women, it was a shocker for me to realize that sometimes even when women don't have perimenopausal symptoms and they don't take HRT because they don't think that they need it, that there is a negative knock-on effect for them in later life with the increased chance of heart attack, stroke, Alzheimer's, osteoporosis, all of the things that nobody wants. And when I saw that information, there was 2 people that jumped into my head. One was you, and one was a relative of mine.
Yeah.
And I sent that information to you immediately. And I said, Cheryl, is there any chance you'll just have a little read of this?
Yeah.
So now that I've sent that to you and we're all talking about it all the time, which I'm absolutely delighted about, how do you feel about that now?
Well, I've made an appointment to speak to somebody about it.
Did you?
Yeah. So, of course, the system over here at the minute is still, you know, like cracking a safe to actually get to speak to the GP.
Okay.
But, you know, 2 weeks away, I will have an appointment. So.
And how long are you waiting on that appointment now, Cheryl?
Oh, yeah, it's been about 3 weeks coming. I decided to try and make an appointment last week.
Brilliant.
So I have an appointment in 2 weeks' time.
Okay.
It is just, you have to bang your head against a brick wall to see a GP.
Yeah.
It's really bad at the moment.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that, Cheryl. I used to think that the NHS was just like worked so fluidly.
No.
Was there a period of time when it just did, though?
Probably about 20 years ago.
Okay. You see, I just always recall people speaking about the NHS like as if it was the best healthcare system on planet Earth and everybody just got taken care of immediately. That was my impression until recently.
I think it depends on your GP.
Okay.
On your GP practice.
Okay.
And how they're operating now. I think since we sort of had the pandemic, they've all adopted different styles of working, and I think some of them particularly want to keep it over the telephone and online as much as possible now. And you know, there are some things that just don't work over the telephone.
No.
You know, and I'm pretty old school nurse person. I like to be face to face.
Absolutely.
And, you know, expressing the discomfort or whatever that I'm experiencing.
Absolutely. I'm with you, Cheryl. I'm exactly the same. I'm not into this, even though we're recording this online, you're in a different country. That's the beauty, I suppose, of technology working in a fantastic way. But sometimes I think technology has desensitized us to being humans and having connection.
Yeah.
Well, I need that connection with my doctor.
Yeah. I think it's great if you fit into their algorithm. But we're not all a tick box person, are we?
Oh, I know. It's not one shoe fits all.
Disease that we've got or illness that we've got.
Yes.
The old school skills of assessing somebody's health gone.
And also going with your gut.
Yeah. There's no instinct anymore.
Like how are they going to get experience if they're not in the room with people to have those instincts?
Yeah.
And is the NHS still a complimentary system over there? So do you pay for it or not?
Yes. We still get everything free apart from things like dental. I think there's still some contribution even if you're NHS dental, but the NHS dentists are now dwindling so much that most people are paying privately anyway. Okay. I certainly am. Okay. Because you can't register as an NHS person anymore.
Really?
A lot of the minor procedures that GPs used to do, like ear syringing, removing warts and things like that, they've not got the funding for anymore. So they're having to then seek alternatives to that now. So that's
on the label it says it's free,
but not everything is
service.
Yeah.
It doesn't do what it says on the tin anymore.
No.
Yeah, I get that now.
No, you can't go to your doctors and get your ears syringed because they haven't got the funding for it. And so, which is good for me because that's my business, is looking after ears.
Yes.
But for a lot of people, it's very expensive for them to do that.
I know. Yeah, I know. I hear that.
And such a common problem.
Yeah. And can I just say, I've heard how Cheryl takes care of her clients, and Jesus Christ, she's like an angel over there, as far as I can work out from what I'm hearing about you.
Well, I think nowadays, because people aren't able to see the GP as often, people are discussing all the health problems with me as they come for their ears.
And sometimes people just want to be heard, Cheryl.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing with me is that I ask them how they are and how you're doing and how you're keeping. And so I find out, and then I try and signpost them or give them links to the right care that they need. So, and I have written to GPs on their behalf for things that are not ear related at all, and try to get them into the right sort of
incredibly
care.
Kind of you, Cheryl.
Pardon?
That's incredibly kind of you to do that.
It's part of what being a nurse is all about. That's what we signed up to do.
Yeah.
You're not just an ear or a leg or something.
Yeah.
A person. And it's total patient care, not
whole patient care.
Yeah.
I like that. I like your ethos. I like the culture that you've created in your business around that.
Yeah.
So Cheryl, what would you say, because women of all ages are going to listen to this now, what would you say to any woman your age or younger about what you would do if you were in their position, if they had a question mark over whether they were perimenopausal or menopausal?
I would say the information is out there now. There's lots of information, lots of sources of advice and support. So use it. Look at forums and things. If you can't get to see your GP and speak directly about these things that are occurring and that you're concerned about, then do your research and look for credible sources to find out more about it. When I was 44, the information wasn't out there for women.
Yeah, you see, this is the thing.
We didn't have these online forums. We didn't have Davina McCall doing what she does now. And so, in a way, the information wasn't there for me.
Yes.
To do my research.
Yeah.
It is now.
And this is why I want you to stop blaming yourself.
Yeah, it's there now. So there's no excuses.
Yes.
There's plenty of routes into finding out more. And don't feel stupid. Don't feel that it's something that you have to put up with because you're a woman. You know, if it's affecting your daily activities, your daily life, and your well-being, then do something to change that.
Absolutely.
You know, and I would say that to anybody. But we can all say things and not do them ourselves, can't we? And again, back in that time when I was perimenopausal and going through sort of that period there, the advice was different. The advice that they were sort of saying that HRT wasn't for women who might have a history or a susceptibility towards things like breast cancer. And I guess because I lost my auntie breast cancer, and I've had breast lumps myself, I've had fibroadenomas myself, you kind of, I always sort of thought, well, maybe, you know, HRT is not really advised for me. And that's what it was like back then. And even though the advice has changed now, I kind of stayed in that story. That it maybe wasn't. So, you know, that's another contributing factor to me not seeking HRT before now.
Well, Cheryl, all I know is that I really wish you the very best of luck in your appointment with your doctor in 2 weeks' time. And for anybody who finds themselves in Cheryl's position, as Cheryl said, you know, arm yourself with the information, educate yourself, because unfortunately, and it's not the doctor's fault, unfortunately, they just weren't educated and they're still operating off old research. And the research has been debunked, as Davina has quite rightly pointed out, and our own Grania Shoga has pointed out here in Ireland. So there's new research now, and they do need to be retrained and all of them things. I get that. However, if we go armed with the information and educate them, or send them on the medical documents before you have your appointment by email to discuss, I think you have a greater chance of everybody being on an even playing field to be able to make an informed decision. And HRT might be for you and HRT might not be for you, but just to be able to have the educated conversation it's something that I'm really, really passionate about at the moment. You know that I'm all about personal empowerment, and health is part of that for me. So Cheryl, I'm so grateful to you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's always a pleasure to speak to you. I love the bones of you. I think you're great. And we all here in Ireland wish you the very best of luck with your appointment. How can we get in touch with you, and the people in the UK get in touch with you for your business?
I'm on Facebook. That's probably the easiest and most accessible way. So anything to do with ears, you can always message me. It is Earworks with an X on the end. And My Positive Health is my more complementary therapy page.
So My Positive Health and Earworks with an X.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheryl Lawton, thanks a million.
Oh, lovely to speak to you, and I hope everybody benefits a little bit from this.
They will. People definitely will benefit from your story.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye. Bye.
So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that podcast as much as I enjoyed recording it. If this is something that you're interested in, keep an eye out for future podcasts or the previous ones that I've just released. And if you would like to continue your personal or spiritual development journey with me, I would be absolutely delighted to have you, and so would my team. Check out my website, nicolaconnollyburn.com, and go to the personal development section and fill in the forms and join one of the groups, either Soul Steps or Soul Works. We'll see you there. Take it easy. Slán.